Now I want to debunk some myths. Kelly, you just mentioned that one of the olive oils that we have on the table here today are better to cook with. I've often heard that people say you shouldn't cook with olive oil.
That is a myth. In terms of cooking with olive oil, it's generally got to do with the smoke point of olive oil. Now, olive oil has a smoking point of between 200 and 220 degrees. Now, generally in your everyday cooking, you're not cooking at temperatures higher than that, unless you are deep frying or.
Yeah.
But you're not affecting the quality of the oil, and you're getting those tastes into your food. That's one of the benefits of using olive oil opposed to another vegetable oil, is that you're actually getting the flavor and the health benefits of your polyunsaturated fats, your monounsaturated fats, and all of the antioxidants.
So they often compare the smoking point of olive oil to other oils, but those oils are refined oils. In other words, they've gone through a chemical process which has taken a lot of the nutrition out of the oil, which is why the smoking point can now go higher. Whereas this is a pure oil, nothing's been done to it, it's just pressed out of the olives. So it's got a whole lot of taste, which refined oils don't have. It's got a whole lot of health benefits that refined oils don't have. And when you cook with it, you get those things. So as long as you're not deep frying, then cooking with olive oil is a way to go. But obviously you've got to be careful. That's why, as Kelly said, you get the more delicate oil for cooking, so that your flavors don't overwhelm the food, but rather complement it. And then you would finish a dish like a salad or whatever, where you're going to pour it over with a stronger olive oil.
That's so interesting. I've had some health experts in studio, I won't name names, who have said that you shouldn't cook with olive oil because you lose those health benefits. So that's interesting.
Yeah, no, you don't lose the health benefits. I mean, it's a common myth. Yeah, the studies have shown that it doesn't. The oil does degrade over the temperature, but you don't lose all of the health benefits.
Yeah, unless you're deep frying, which I don't think a lot of people would do.
You've got to be very wealthy to deep fry an olive oil.
Yeah. All right. Now we've spoken about what extra virgin and virgin mean. What does cold pressed mean?
Yes, so in order to extract more oil from olives, producers will often increase their temperature, but in doing so, you're losing a lot of the health benefits, you're losing a lot of the flavors and the aromas that are present in an extra virgin olive oil. So the rule generally is, if you are pressing under 28 degrees, that is cold extracted.
Wow. So a cold pressed olive oil would never also be an extra virgin olive oil?
It will be, yeah.
It would be?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I think these will say cold pressed on them. Cold extracted, there we go. So the cold extraction is part of keeping everything, remember, as I said, from harvest all the way through the chain. Cold pressing it is part of that process of making sure that it's really at its optimum.
Interesting.
So, it's under 28 degrees, but when we're talking about heating things up to extract more oil, often they take them to quite high temperatures to really increase the yield, and that does damage the olive oil.
So when we're tasting olive oil, what should we be looking for?
Well, firstly, you want to make sure that the oil has no defects. If an oil has been stored incorrectly, or if it's been processed from old fruit or fruit that has diseases, it could be fusty, it could have a winey or vinegary taste, a muddy sediment to it, or a metallic taste.
Those things don't sound good.
You don't want to have any of that in your food, absolutely.
And you can generally trust your taste buds. When you taste something and you pick up those faults, they're fairly obvious.
You've got to remember that you are dealing with a fruit that is being pressed, and you're extracting a juice and separating that from the vegetable and water. And then olive oils are broken down into three categories. We've got delicate, medium, and intense. So that has to do with the level of fruitiness, bitterness, and pungency in an oil, and that could be affected by your cultivars that you have used, your time of harvesting. If they are harvested earlier, you have greener fruit. Later, they will be riper and produce softer oils and give you different flavors. And then you want to look for the nuances that make it more complex. So you could pick up flavors of green tomatoes, grass, walnuts, bananas, And those are the things that you're looking for in a good olive oil.
Mm-hmm. Now we've spoken about delicate olive oils. We're saying those are better for cooking. What about these moderate and intense ones? What are those ideally suited with?
I'll answer that. So basically olive oils have different uses depending on the style of the oil. And Europeans would probably have 2 or 3 different types of olive oil in their cupboard, using them for different things. The stronger oils have got beautiful flavors, and when you're using those oils, you're using them to actually taste them. So, if you're taking a stronger oil, you pour it over your salad. Mm-hmm. When you're eating that salad, you're really picking up on those flavors of the oil, right. That bitterness, the pepperiness in the back of the throat, that really fresh taste. So you've kind of separate between the sort of dishes where you will dress the oil afterwards and you'll actually taste the oil, versus when you're using it to cook with. Maybe you're making an aioli. You don't want to use a very strong olive oil because you're going to get this really strong taste. It's going to kind of be unbalanced. So you'd use a delicate olive oil to make an aioli so that the taste is more balanced.
I need to admit that I use the same olive oil for everything.
Most people do, and that's why we're trying to spread the message, to experiment and read the label. Try and work out what's the difference between the different ones, because they do get categorized into those categories of delicate, medium, and intense, or fruity, or robust. There's different words. In terms of taste, a lot of South Africans are not used to that very peppery taste, which kind of makes you cough a little bit at the back of the throat.
Yeah.
But that's really good olive oil that often does that, and those are also linked to its health benefits. So it's not something to be afraid of, or to say. A lot of people go, I don't like South African olive oil, because it always tastes like that bitter, peppery taste. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of South African olive oils which are made in a different style, softer style, more delicate, which don't have those characteristics. So you can't just say, it's like saying I don't like South African wine because it all tastes the same, which we know it doesn't.
I feel so uncultured.
Well, maybe 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but now I have a wealth of knowledge.
There you go.